the time. We can go another 5 minutes. Go ahead and tell the story.
One of the training exercises that we went through was with a paint pistol, and our instructor sat in a car as the driver, and we did a mock traffic stop. And he had the gun hidden, and the goal was to not get shot by him. And through this exercise, we're trained that every encounter with a citizen is an armed encounter, whether they have a gun or not, because the officer has a gun that can be taken. So they teach us all these different paranoid ways how to approach a car. And we've gotten shot by the paintballs so many times from our instructors that by the time we get out of the police academy and make our first traffic stop, I've got courage and I'm kind of a brave guy, but my hand would be shaking so bad before I got to that driver's door, pulling anybody home over. Little old lady, didn't matter. My hands would be shaking so bad, thinking, where's the gun going to come from? Where's the gun going to come from?
I always wondered why, starting in the mid-'90s, cops pull you over now, and they walk over all scared and you're just going, And now I see them, because I'll observe them, I see them pulling over literally like 65-year-old women, and they're scared. And then I know the statistics, because I'm all into statistics. I know that a handful of police die compared to dying in car wrecks when they're writing tickets, hanging their butts out, like I said last time. And, you tell a cop that, you go, your main thing is your squad car. The main thing's getting hit. And they're like, no, it's the citizens. They're deadly. They're deadly. And, cops do get killed, but that's part of the line of work. Firemen get killed. I just can't imagine constantly being that afraid. That is abuse of their body right there.
Well, it's the air. I could walk into a scene, and it doesn't take an intelligent person to do this. It takes a manipulative person, and everybody's got some manipulation in them. I could walk into a scene, calm it down, help the citizens, and leave. Or I could walk into that same scene as an officer and do little things to antagonize and pick fights to escalate that into an arrest. That's what
I've had that many times.
No, that's what they're doing.
But I've had them do that as activists in Denver. And they weren't as bad as some cities. I'd be there videoing during the DNC. Cops would come over 30 feet away and say, "Hey, we're just working here. Stop taping us." I'd go, "Hey, man, that's the First Amendment. Hey, what's your problem?" Where did that attitude come from?
Well, they're not secret police, and they think they are. They're public servants. It's just an entire paradigm shift. As I said last week, police now show up to the scene looking who they can arrest, and we need to switch the whole thing to police showing up to the scene looking who they can help.
Did you hear about this Fourth Amendment change where they said, well, even if officers don't really have a proper warrant, or even if it wasn't properly filed, or even if they lie about it, they can now just basically no Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, but when that came out, that confused me a little bit, because I've been involved in lawsuits, and even if there's immunity given to police officers and judges if their intentions weren't to cause harm. If
now it's, they spun it for the public that was protect. No, it's saying they can do bad things now. I mean, that's what the ruling's saying.
That's insane.
No, it's evil. Look, they're evil. I mean, that's what every time you see in criminology where there's some nice family man who likes to dress up like a clown, they find out there's 23 dead boys in his basement. And they're like, but he was such a nice man. And it's because they wear suits and ties or uniforms. People can't believe this. And if you, as a mid-level narcotics officer, it was already this evil, but you thought you were okay, what I found is it's actually sadistic psychopaths above them, and there's a whole system of manipulating police and bureaucrats and others. And the higher you go up the chain, it goes from just being well-meaning dupes who become corrupt but rationalize it to controlled psychopaths. You know that term? The stupid psychopath goes out and just grabs a kid off a schoolyard and goes and rapes him in the woods and gets caught an hour later. A controlled psychopath like the Zodiac never gets caught. Right. Well, the government's full of Zodiacs. Mm-hmm. They're full of genius-level, intelligent, focused. And notice when they do bust some of these high-level psychopaths, it'll be some high-level government bureaucrat or some Homeland Security deputy director. And they're writing letters to the newspaper. You'll never catch me. Remember that guy? Mm-hmm. But anyways, it's...
Well, so here's what American do. We talk the problem a lot, and we need to. But there is an answer. If you live in America now, you're not free, but you can survive in America. And the way you do that is arm yourself with information. And I'm not plugging these videos right now, but they help.
Hey, we need the funds to grow and be big. Go to Infowars.com and get them.
Infowars.com. These have a lot of good information. And then remember, I have some forums that are free on nevergetbusted.com that give a lot of information how to survive these police encounters.
No, you've got all these questions, all these important points, and there's all these big
citizens have asked, and I got on there and answered. There's thousands of questions. The questions you always wanted to ask a cop and get an honest answer, they're there. And your weapons of warfare are cameras, the internet, supporting other activists.
Yes, growing our numbers.
Yeah, you can do something, because I want to end with this if I got a little bit of time.
No, you got time. Go ahead.
The new America, what Candy and I call the new America, should concentrate on rallying the people who already get it. Sometimes I think we spend too much of our times as activists arguing with the 50, 60-year-old grandpa that is not going to get it, and you're beating your head on the wall. You know, don't waste your energy with those people anymore. The grave will take care of them, and that's sad, but the grave needs to take care of them. No, I agree.
You've got to move on to those that want to hear.
That's right. Let's rally the people who already get it. There's millions of us out here that already understand this, so let's use our energy. You know, instead of going to your grandpa and arguing with them, or your father, go to your neighbor that understands it and say, hey, we can do something.
And instead of just agreeing with the neighbor in his garage while you're sitting there drinking a beer, saying, okay, what are we going to do about this? Let's go down to city council and speak out against the police state checkpoints. Let's go out and support Barry Cooper, who's going to be running for Attorney General. Let's go out and let's get his film and have a party and say, hey, folks, come over. You know, we're cooking chicken on the grill and stuff, and we're going to, you know, let you see some wild stuff, some underground videos.
Yeah, to stay safe.
But then make it fun, not like, oh, I got something really dirty and bad, and, you know, it's dangerous and criminal. No, I got something really fun and wild about getting our country back. Come over and watch Endgame or Terror Storm and Never Get Busted. You know, this is how we're going to change things. And that's why the federal government wants to use this fake Messiah Obama to suck in false mass movements so they can control it. Go ahead and close.
It's just, I really think if there's ever a time to at least get pot legalized, that'll keep a lot of people from being in a cage. Just that itself.
What, 87% of drug users only use marijuana?
Yeah. And we're sitting on the best time to, if we join together, like we're doing. You're helping. You're giving me a show. That's huge. Kevin Booth, he has his own thing going, but we can use his talents, and I can help him with his plight, and I can help you with your plight. And we can all do our own thing, but join and help each other and really...
Synergy, energizing each other.
It's working, too. I mean, it is working. You do not hear, or we didn't hear drug war talk at this level 3 years ago like we do now. Attorney generals are coming out saying now in the drug war. I mean, people are catching on. This thing is working. So just leave it at that. I'm excited about the new show.
Well, I just want to be clear, and let's talk about that in the final close here, that a lot of people say to me, Alex, don't be so negative. I think we've gotten to this point because it's not negative if I have gangrene and I go in and get it treated. And I want people to know I'm not up here telling you all these horrible things because I just want to urinate on the government. The government's just a collection of corporate crooks and weirdos and dumbed-down people and decent folks. I tell people how bad it is because I researched this, and I can't believe that it's as insane as it is when I read a globalist document by Richard N. Haas. In fact, let's end the show with Richard N. Haas on the Colbert Report, where they're making jokes about world government and poo-pooing it, when 10 years ago the news said the CFR does not exist and that's a code that you're a terrorist. They would say I have law enforcement manuals that say Council on Foreign Relations is a code for being a white supremacist. Okay? They said posse comitatus is a code for being a white supremacist. I have the manuals. I put them on the web. This has been on the news. We put it out and it's got national news. That's because they're treating the cops. This is FBI manuals for cops. Like they're moron idiots, feeding them this fear. So now when a citizen sees troops out and they go, that's violation of posse comitatus, 1878 federal law, they go, my God, I got one of the white supremacists. See, I mean, look at how base that manipulation is. So what I'm saying to all of you out there is, we have to face just how evil it is. It's like whenever I told Barry, did you hear of this woman? Her kids knocked a Bloody Mary over and she slapped him on the leg. And that's in the LA Times. The police say that she was charged under Patriot Act as a terrorist and not given a lawyer for 3 months till she pled guilty, because they can do that under the anti-terror clause. She's not allowed to have private discussions with her lawyer, and she's going to prison for over a decade. And they go on to say, hundreds and hundreds of people for just arguing, just raising your voice, not even cussing, you go to prison as a terrorist. Now, remember, they told you that Patriot Act